This tastes just like coffee ice cream.
Can instant coffee actually taste good? You see, instant coffee gets a lot of hate, and I guess makes people need to use the bathroom. So I'm gonna put this to the test by trying 3 different instant coffee recipes. First, we need to get some instant coffee, and no, not this garbage. This is the good stuff. Then I told Calvin the plan, we got our chef's hats on, and we got to work. So I started with a drink that you could make in 1 cup. And this drink is really hard to mess up because you just throw everything together and blend it. Once it's frothy, add ice and milk for a Greek cappuccino or ice and water for a Greek frappe. But after trying,
It's gonna be hard to beat this one.
so then I wanted to see if I could beat the last drink with a hot drink. So I made this drink the same way that I did for the first drink, but instead of adding cold milk and ice, I added hot milk that I heated up in the microwave. So I guess when you make this one hot, it's called an Indian cappuccino, and
This is so good.
but now it's time to bring out the machinery to hopefully beat both of the last 2 drinks. You have to try to mess up this drink because you just throw all the ingredients into a blender and blend it on hot. And now look me in the eyes and try to tell me that this doesn't look like a coffee frosty. Whoa. Now excuse me while I help myself to a generous drizzle of caramel. Oh yeah. And it's only right that we add a little bit more caramel on top, and well...
This one's my favorite. Oh my gosh. Is this the top or the bottom of the straw?
I got a lot of questions asking for more instant coffee recipes, so let's get into it. One of life's guilty pleasures is Vietnamese iced coffee, and you can make it with instant coffee. All you gotta do is take 1 tablespoon of sweetened condensed milk, 1 tablespoon of instant coffee, and 3 tablespoons of water in a carafe and mix it together. In a separate glass, add your ice, your coffee, some milk, and if you want it to get fancier, a little bit of salt. The next recipe is a way for you to make an affogato using instant coffee instead of an espresso machine. Basically, just take all of the ingredients that you see on the screen, put it into a shaker cup, and shake it really, really hard. If you don't know what an affogato is, it's just ice cream and coffee. Who doesn't like that? Grab a couple scoops of ice cream, or 5 or 6, and then strain your coffee mixture right over top. Of course, if you want to get extra like me, I'm gonna add some cocoa powder, maybe some caramel drizzle, but it's delicious. This next recipe is for those of you that think adding sugar to coffee is a felony. This is how you make a cappuccino just using instant coffee. A tablespoon of instant coffee and a tablespoon of water get blended together, and then we'll take 6 ounces of milk, put it in the microwave for 1.5 minutes, and let that heat up. This recipe is assuming that you have a French press at home because that's how we're gonna be frothing up this milk. Add your milk to your French press and just, I guess, pump it up like this. You'll then have this frothy milk and a frothy cappuccino. I know there's gonna be some Europeans saying that I'm a disgrace, and I am ready for it. Back when I was getting into coffee, one of the first things that I learned how to make was cold brew, so let's get into it. I'm gonna be using this cold brew kit that I got from Trade Coffee. It comes with a 2-pound bag of freshly roasted beans and 20 of these little cold brew baggies. I'll talk about the bags in a second, but first let's talk about the numbers that you need to know. We'll need 50 grams of coffee, or about 7 tablespoons, and 500 milliliters of water. If you want to make more cold brew, just double this recipe. Do 100 grams of coffee and 1,000 milliliters of water. You'll grind your coffee on a coarse setting, throw it into one of these bags, tie up the bag, and then throw the bag into a carafe or a larger mason jar. You'll then add your water, give it a nice stir, and then let it sit at room temperature for 24 hours. The next day, you'll have a cold brew that tastes just as good as the ones that you'd get from a cafe, and you can use it to make all sorts of drinks. One of my all-time favorite ways to make cold brew is to make it with vanilla sweet cream. But the most fun part to me is experimenting, so have fun with it. Cold brew is just that little addition to your summer that you didn't know that you needed. Also, Trade is offering 15% off to all of you guys if you want to try out the kit.